Hi, I just wanted to give you a little structure about writing the report and exactly what I'm looking for as far as content. So that's the purpose of this video, is writing the report. The first thing is one of your own, but there's a couple things I'm looking for in a topic, and one is that it be analytical, that you do some type of analysis. I don't want you to report on something like the Sarbanes-Oxley Act because that's already been written. There's nothing to evaluate. What I want you to do is look at some information and make a decision based on that information. Leading to the second thing I'm looking for is some type of recommendation at the end. So usually what I tell students is think about comparing three things to choose the best option. It could be coffee vendors for the school, it could be printers for your office, it could be colleges to transfer to after NCCC, or a million other options. You can apply it to any major or any job opportunity or any student organization as well. So let's think about writing the report on comparing three types of ice cream. So say you're the president of the student government at NCCC and you want to buy ice cream, to have ice cream at the sporting events, and you have to pick out what's the best ice cream. So you and your team decide you're going to compare Breyers, Ben & Jerry's, and Perry's. Now, throughout your introduction, that's the kind of information you're going to give me. You're the president of the student government. You're working with student government to do this for the basketball games or the football games or whatever the sporting event may be, and why you're evaluating, and a little brief introduction of the three things that you are going to be comparing. So then you have to choose your criteria, and your criteria should also be in the introduction. Think about the three things that mean the most in making this decision. Well, probably taste. I mean, I would do taste testing for students and have them, rate the different ice creams, a blind taste test. Maybe the amount of flavors. This one has 36 different flavors. Maybe that's a criteria for us. And we want to support Niagara County or Western New York more like, and we want to use a local company. So that's our three criteria, and they could be different. It could be cost. Cost is definitely a very big option here. We only have so much money to spend, so we want to make sure it's under $3 net per gallon or whatever. Okay. So in our introduction, it's usually about a page long. The paper's 5 pages. So the first page is generally the introduction. It doesn't mean write half a page and stop and that's it. You continue writing down the page, but a well-written introduction will be about a page. So why are you doing this? How are you going to go about it? What questions will you answer? And don't forget to have a purpose statement. The purpose of this report is to compare and evaluate 3 ice cream providers and select the best one to supply ice cream to a student-run store for college events. So at the end of the paper, when I'm looking at my writing plan and I'm evaluating, the last step is evaluating my work, I'm going to go back to that purpose statement. Is this what I did? Did I select the best one? A lot of times students will say, write a nice little English conclusion. Well, this is what I found, and I hope you enjoyed this paper. No, that's not a business paper. You need to make a selection in this case. So now I'm into the body, and there's 2 different ways I can organize it. First is by company, and I think this makes the most sense. And then under each company, so under Breyers, I'm going to have taste, flavors, and locale, whether they're local or not. Under Ben & Jerry's, I'm going to have taste, flavors, local or not. Perry's, I'm going to have the same 3. And this allows the reader to flip back and forth and compare apples to apples. I can look at taste, taste, taste. I know where to find it. I have a subheading there. It's very easy to locate. I make sure I put the information in the same order. Like I said, I use the subheading to make it easy to identify. And each of these should take about a page to write. Again, I don't stop mid-page if I'm done, but I continue on to the next topic. The other way I could do it is by criteria. I could have taste and then compare Breyers, Ben & Jerry's, and Perry's, flavors, Ben & Jerry's, Breyers, and Perry's, and so on. So either way makes logical sense. I would probably just do it by company. That would be my first option. Now I'm ready to write my conclusions. I'm 5 pages. This is my 5th page. This is where you do your analysis. I'm going to look at each one of those criteria that I had written about, and I'm going to compare them. On the blind taste test, Perry scored 58% approval rating, where Breyers was 45 and Ben and Jerry's was 20. And I'm making this up here. I doubt it would come out like that. So therefore, based on the blind taste test, Perry's the best option. And then I'm going to go on to flavors. Ben and Jerry's had 20 flavors. Breyers had 72. Perry's had 56, whatever. And Perry's is the local company. The other two are not. And then I'm going to make some analysis. I've drawn my conclusion. A conclusion is something that you learned from this. So Perry's had the best blind taste test ratings. Perry's was the only company that was local. Those are conclusions drawn from the information. Then finally, I'm going to make my recommendation. Pick an ice cream brand based on the criteria. So here's an example of my recommendation based on the 3 criteria of taste, 58% preferred, flavors over 30, and local. Yes, I recommend that the NCCC student government use Perry's or adopt Perry's as their ice cream. Okay. One thing to remember is you never put out any new information in the conclusions or the recommendations. Anything that is information pertinent to the paper should be covered in the body or in the introduction, not in the you can refer to it in the conclusions and the recommendations, but it has to be introduced somewhere else in the paper. So I hope that helps. 5 pages is really not that bad when you think about it. 1 page per company, 1 page for the introduction, and 1 page for the recommendation and conclusions, and you've got yourself a paper. So good luck. Thanks.